Now we're ready for our strike plate, and we need to line it up. I'm going to use caulk. You could use toothpaste, caulk, anything that you can put on this and wipe off easily. I'm going to put it on the pins that come out. So then I'm going to take and close the door with the knob turned to where the pin's all the way in. I'm going to put it right against here where I want it, and I'm going to shake the doorknob and turn the key to where it makes a mark on here. So let's get it. Pull it all the way in. Turn my top. Turn my bottom. Open it up all the way. Make sure you don't catch hold of your weather stripping. Push it aside and put your 7/8 inch bit right in the center of that. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing right here. Right in the center. I'm going to go a little deeper on this because that pin goes far. That one I went all the way through. I didn't have to go all the way through on this because I know that pin doesn't go that far. Now I'll just have to chisel out enough to get that plate to set back in there. That's it. There's numerous speeds on here. Goes all the way up to 6, so I can turn it down where it doesn't jump all over on me. Once you have this chiseled out, you can put your strike plates on. When I put my strike plates on, I don't go back with these little screws that they give you. I don't like those. So, you know we have plywood behind there that's sandwiched in between here. That gives it more strength, and it allows me to put a longer screw in there to bite back there, and I'm going through the plywood and into the 2x behind it, so that gives it more strength. These are not going to go very far, so I use 2.5 to 3 inch screws to go all the way through this. Now, when I put my strike plate back on, I'm going to put these longer screws in. And let me put it in here. So that way, when it bites, it's going to give it a lot more strength. And of course, you want that plywood sandwiched in between there. If you didn't have something solid behind there, you'd suck this frame in, and it would be bowed or bowed inward. So that's why you make sure you have something solid behind here. That's real important. Now, when I run these in here, it's good and tight and solid. You can take and run a couple of these screws in some spots because this comes right off. It just peels right off the trim, and you can run a screw behind this and into there. One down here, one up there, and one here. And that will, well, you really don't even need to do them in this area. You can just do one up top and one at the bottom. And of course, you've got these 4 right here. So we'll put this in. And this is going to give it a lot more strength. Now, I can't tell you that it's going to stop everybody, but it'll deter people. I'm a fireman, and I kick doors in all the time when we have to get into a house and make entry. And very seldom you have one that gives you a lot of trouble, but this really does make it a lot harder to kick in. If you didn't have this in here, I could kick this one time and just slam this whole door right off the hinges, or this part right here, it'll just rip right off, because this will just split. So if you have this in here into that wood, it's going to give it a lot more strength. Now they do have some anti-kick plates that you can put in here, and it goes behind this before you put it on, and you strap it to your 2x4s, the frame back there, and then it has a slot for this, and that way it's nailed all to that, and you have a steel frame here that keeps it from breaking loose, because a lot of times it's just right where the strike plate is that it splits and breaks it. This, like I said, if it's mounted on both sides of that strike plate and it's into the 2x, gives it a lot more strength. I'll find some of those security plates, and I'll put that on my website, or I mean in the description box below, and you'll be able to look those up, because I would think that's something that some people may want. This is a very good neighborhood. They don't have any problems up in here, but if you have a neighborhood where security is more of a is more important, then you'll want to have something like that put in there. I'll pull this back some, and I can just run a screw right there. And this will give it strength as well. Just gives it a little extra. But I put it right behind where the rubber is, so that covers it up. You don't want to have screws everywhere where you can see them. And that tucks right back in place. And I'm going to put one down at the bottom. Okay, now we'll put one right here, do the same thing. I know I have plywood there because I put plywood on the top and bottom and in the middle. So I can get it real tight and it doesn't bend the frame at all, it stays in place. And we just tuck this right back in place. That's it. Okay, everything's in place, but I notice her outside doors, can't get the key to go in it, and this is an extra key she had. So what I'm going to do is put some graphite on here. Just to really make it work. So let's see. Now we can get it in. Put a little bit more graphite. This stuff works wonders. You can get it in a number of places, hobby stores, things like that. See the difference now? Now we'll put it on the bottom one. And you can see I can't get the key in. Well, it goes in there a little better. I got the graphite in, but it's still stiff. So we're going to put a little bit more. You just shoot it in there. It's a powder, and it really works well with this. Okay, much better. Okay. Good to go. Well, there you go. Everything works real well. The locks are nice and loose to where they work well, and the door is tight. I'll see you guys on the next project. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out paulstoolbox.com for all my archive videos, and also for my shop. I have tools that I use all the time on there. I also have products that I use, things that I really like and I would recommend. All right, you guys keep the projects coming. If you don't mind, hit like for me, and I'll see y'all later.